Welcome to the High Pressure Podcast with me, George Rotterman.
And me, Marie Williams. Brought to you by Reliably Ratterman.
Bringing you industry news and trends.
Plus, insightful conversations with industry leaders.
Let's get to today's show. Well, welcome to the High Pressure Podcast Solution Session today. We have Marie Rotterman here today. How you doing, Marie?
George Ratterman, I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to talk about this topic and share with our customers what we're offering for them.
Yes, it has to do with beverages. Beverages are always fun to talk about. And we today are going to have Tim Neeser on. It's going to be so cool. And in that, we're going to be talking about bulk and Bev Carb CO2. It's going to be a really cool overview of what's coming up for a training program that we're putting on in our Solution Center in the West Coast and our Nashville, Tennessee facility. It's going to be really, really good.
Yes, and I've already had 3 customers reach out to me today asking if Ratterman offers Bev Carb training, and I'm excited to say, yes, we do. We have 2 trainings available to you in March, so it's coming up fast. Sign up quickly, secure your spot, but this episode will tell you what we're going to be covering in those trainings, and we hope to see you then.
Yeah, and then, we're going to touch on some really cool things because it's not just going to be like talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to have it so people go home and do stuff with it, right? And it's going to be everything from knowing and understanding how a tank works, how to troubleshoot, how to size it, emerging markets, opportunities, new markets to grow sales, just a lot of really good things. Everything from a technician to a salesperson be a great application for them to come to this particular training program we're putting on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to learn.
Okay, well, we're going to now get with Tim.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hop in.
Okay. Tim, man, if there's somebody that knows about beverage, I think it's you. So I'd like to really, if you wouldn't mind, introduce yourself and a little bit of your history in the beverage industry.
Well, thanks, George. Glad to be here. And my background in the industrial gas space really started with beverage carbonation in the mid-'80s with Minnesota Valley Engineering and the development of the bulk CO2 system for McDonald's restaurants. And I was involved in that program along with even the distribution equipment because there wasn't any distribution at that time for bulk CO2. So everything had to be created, including the quick disconnect and the wall box and everything from scratch, basically.
Wow.
And it's really taken off, 35, 40 years later. So in short, that's my background. I've got an education in a BS in mechanical engineering and a Master of Science in Management of Technology, which has really helped me along the way to obtain a lot of patents, roll out articles, and registered trademarks and things like that for the industry.
That's fantastic. Well, today we're going to talk about something we're going to be doing. And that's going to be something we have you coming to do, which is a training course. And, we're really going to have a master beverage carbonation training, sales, and solutions. So today the idea is to just kind of give a little bit of brief overview what that class is going to be about, what we're going to cover, and all kinds of good things like that. So maybe we could start with, that spot, a little bit just kind of like what are the main bullet points we plan to cover in the training?
Sure. It's a very comprehensive program. It's going to start off with the product overview so customers can understand the product, how it works, how it functions, and how it can match the scope of an end user account, a restaurant account with the right product, as well as the whole system, which includes how to install it safely and the safety equipment that you need to make sure you have a complete package for the end user. That's one of the key sections. Another key section is going to be just on carbon dioxide itself, understanding the properties, safety monitors, and why we use them, and the installations and how they should be installed per proper guidance, such as the Compressed Gas Association requirements and their pamphlets and things like that. And then, in addition, with the carbon dioxide properties, we'll be covering the applications where bulk CO2 can be used. And these applications will range from metal fabrication, welding in those applications, laser cutting. And then, of course, the meat of it is really the bev carb support, as well as some of the newer applications like microbreweries and things like that. And how do I size the right tank with the right accessories on that tank for these high flow applications that are now popping up in the industry? And the last part of the section is really going to be about selling the mode change of bulk CO2. And this is where you can understand, sales reps can understand how to really quantify the benefits of bulk CO2 over high pressure cylinders. And then they can take those benefits once they're quantified and be able to justify installing a beverage low pressure liquid bev carb tank and distribute liquid that way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's much more efficient for the distributor. They're moving molecules instead of metal, which is really important. And that's proven to be very efficient in the last 35 years. In fact, I would say in the US today, there's might be up to 250,000 installations
Wow.
for bev carb bulk CO2 tanks in these applications that I mentioned. So the selling process will really be promoting the benefits at the end of the day, the convenience, quality, safety, savings of bulk CO2. And it'll be geared toward, this business. So if you're a sales rep for a distributor and you want to come and learn about it, or an operations person or a tech person, we'll have the full gamut. And on the sales side, you'll be able to really take the wizards that we've created and allowing the sales rep to specify the right size tank. And then, of course, they can actually quantify all these other benefits. And so that they can plug that in, and it becomes a win-win for everybody.
One of the things I think is really neat is when you're in sales or you're maybe in the maintenance department, it's nice to understand both sides of it, because you could be trying to troubleshoot something, maybe do a flow rate, but its size may be incorrectly because that application might be a movie theater where rushes of people come in. And that moment, you need to have a certain level of CO2 flow. And yet you might have a restaurant, which might be slightly differently. And I think that crossover, which we're going to be touching on for sure, and then also be able to troubleshoot, be able to troubleshoot the top end. How does that tank really work? And if certain things are happening a certain way, what might really be an issue, so you can understand, is it really even an issue with the tank? It might be a different type of scenario. I think by covering that, it will be really powerful for both installers as well as sales folks. The other thing I think is neat is the different opportunities for selling, right? That gets very exciting. Grow your market and the areas that you could grow a market. I know maybe you could touch on that a little bit. I know we're going to be covering that in the training as well.
Yeah, that's right. You hit on a lot of good points. And one of the things that people don't really totally understand about this product is that at the end of the day, it changes your whole business perspective, because you can get contracts with the distributor or with the end users, the store, all these restaurants and things like that. Today, they don't have contracts with them if they're just swapping high pressure cylinders. And once you convert them over to a stationary tank in the system, and you're delivering molecules at the point of use, you can get a contract on that, and it becomes very, very lucrative for the distributor at the end of the day, and helps them grow their business, helps them justify the cost of a delivery truck and expenses. Maybe you got a more expensive driver, sales rep, and so on, and it really changes their whole model at their distributor level.
Yeah, the other thing with that, you're really also can sell security, right? You can say, you're not going to be in the middle of your rush at lunchtime and find out your soda machine stopped working, because we can make sure that the tank's full, and we have monitoring that can monitor the tank and how full it is, when it needs to be refilled. There's just a lot of really big pluses that comes along with it. Along with the fact you can make deliveries at, if you wanted to, you can make a delivery at 2 a.m. in most of those different facilities, based on the setting up the box outside fill station. So that's really good. So really, we're going to have folks come. They're going to learn about how to size a tank, how a tank works, how to troubleshoot a tank, where market segments are, and how to get to those market segments.
I also think, the part of looking at building contracts and that opportunity for distributors is so exciting. I think that's what I'm most interested in learning from this training, because it's coming from a sales side. It's so fun to sit down and see how other people may view a contract or how they work a contract to benefit the company. So I think that'll be a really engaging part of the training.
Yeah. I like a particular good piece, Tim, that you really focus on, which is, really we lead by education, right? We're not just selling a product. You're in there teaching of how we could be working with the customer and bringing value to the customer in mode change or just application opportunities.
That's right, George. And then to just add on to what Marie said is, if you think about these distributors that are like chasing their tail, they might lose an account and then they have to replace with another account because they don't have contracts with them. And now there's a high cost of sales at the beginning with bulk CO2, but at the end of the day, once you get that contract signed, say it's with 5 to 7 years or maybe even 10 years, it's all on autopilot after that. So your cost of sales goes literally to zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your security level on those sales gets higher.
Right.
So,
Tim, what is one of the most interesting installations you've done or worked on?
well, that's a good question, George. One of the most interesting installations, I would say, from just reviewing all the different applications, I've been into some high flow restaurants such as a McDonald's. That's pretty much run of the mill. But when you get into microbreweries, you get applications there where a lot of times they're just pushing the beer, and then all of a sudden, they're pushing the beer to the tap. Then all of a sudden, they need to push the beer from, a larger tank to a let's say a keg, and they need to do some cleaning, and they start using CO2 under high flow, and that's where you get that 30 to 40 pounds per hour flow rate, and it might even come in a 10, 15-minute spurt. So having the right equipment with a good capacity and electric pressure building type system in those tanks to feed that's going to be really imperative to have that type of equipment to back up those accounts.
It's great. So we're going to have the training, many ways in which to sign up for the training. You can contact any one of our sales reps. They could work with you and get that all set up. And then also, Marie, you want to touch on how people can go about getting all set up for training?
Absolutely. They can contact me directly, Marie at rmimfg.com. We also have some Eventbrite links that we can send, and you can sign up through there. But I think the easiest way is just to reach out to me, Marie at rmimfg.com, and let me know the names of the folks coming, the company you're with, and their emails, and I will reserve them a seat. So it'll be a great time. We have room blocks for hotels. So all you have to do is get a hotel room. We're covering the cost of training and dinner and drinks.
And maybe we'll have some surprises also. We usually do have some surprises. So there might be some other surprises that happen
Absolutely.
at those trainings. Yeah. Great. Well, Tim, do you have any other final comments you want to make until everybody can see you in person with our phenomenal training that's going to go on for everybody?
I look forward to it. Again, it's going to be a jam-packed, very comprehensive day. And I'm sure we'll have some great interactions because the agenda covers, from technical to sales. So the audience that should be there, literally can be technicians, operations, sales, and even owners that would be interested in coming and learning about switching over to the bulk CO2 system.
That's a great point. And there's so many, every day there's some new and different places that CO2 is being used. So there's always a new opportunity, a new place that we can have distributors can grow their business. So, well, man, thank you so much for being on the High Pressure Solution Center today. I appreciate that so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys. And everybody sign up. And we look forward to all the customers coming in and greeting them and showing them all kinds of fun stuff. So thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity. Bye, everyone.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay up to date with the latest news in the gas and welding industry by clicking on the subscribe button.
And check out one of our other videos to learn more. Find out more about Reliably Ratterman at rmiordered.com.